All right. So we're going to start in New York. Quarterback controversy. Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater kind of came out of nowhere after this offseason. Had a pretty bad knee injury last season, or was it 2 years ago?
I believe it was 2 years ago with the Vikings.
Yep, 2 full years since he's played an NFL snap. He has done pretty well this preseason. He's 17 to 23 for 212 yards. But the big story here is Sam Darnold. Rookie, he's thrown 29 passes, 21 of them
There you go.
completed. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I will say the interception he threw into double coverage, looked like a rookie. Do you have anything to say about those two guys here?
I'm just surprised that McGowan has actually found his way down to the number 3 spot. Not officially from the Jets, but I know that Teddy Bridgewater's got some NFL experience. As an NFL head coach, Todd Bowles, me personally, I would say that I'd probably start Teddy Bridgewater, get Sam Darnold behind him, groom him a little bit, make sure that he doesn't just get his morale completely destroyed first year. Teddy Bridgewater is, I would say, maybe a C-plus quarterback in the NFL, but as a number 3 draft pick, I don't think it's the best choice for Sam or the Jets franchise to have him as a starter week 1. We will see how the rest of this preseason pans out, and I know that these next 2 preseason games are basically going to be the factor of Todd Bowles basically deciding of who he wants to be as the starter for the New York Jets franchise.
Do you see a world where they might trade Teddy Bridgewater away and keep Josh McCown as a backup and let Sam Darnold jump out there right away?
I don't think Sam Darnold will get out there right away. If they do trade Teddy Bridgewater, I think McCown will be the number 1 back week 1. But as far as Teddy Bridgewater, I do think that they could get something for him.
I agree. I like that a lot. Moving on down, Buffalo, we got Josh Allen versus really only Nathan Peterman now. A.J. McCarron broke his collarbone last night. He'll be out for a sizable amount of time, 6 weeks, maybe up to 8. Anything to say about those guys there, Jack?
Yeah, well, I don't think Josh Allen is NFL ready. I think he has a pretty big upside, but I don't see him being super effective in the NFL in the future. As far as Nathan Peterman goes, he is trash. Nathan Peterman is just absolutely garbage. He threw 5 picks in the first half last year against the Chargers.
That was the game they benched Tyrod, right?
Yeah, the Bills decided that they wanted to bench Tyrod Taylor and see what Nathan Peterman could do, and he really showed his strengths off, throwing 5 interceptions in the first half. So you could probably guess they pulled his ass right out of there, put Tyrod back in, the man who ended up taking them to the playoffs. So I think Josh Allen doesn't really have too much competition. If the Bills do have Nathan Peterman as their week 1 starter, they're going to go 0-16.
Wow. So far this preseason, Allen, 18 for 32, 176, 2 touchdowns. I will note he has 47 rushing yards. I think that's kind of big time, 20-some yards a game running with your feet. Always big play guy with that. Nathan Peterman, 17 for 20. He has thrown a pick for 229 and 2 touchdowns. I will say, if it's just them two competing, if you're looking at the first 4 weeks from the Buffalo Bills perspective, you play Baltimore, San Diego, Minnesota, Green Bay. And with those 4 games, I think you see what could be a really easy win to start the season against Baltimore. And then you have the Chargers, which is a good game. But then you play against 2 really, really difficult games in Minnesota and Green Bay. I just think, hey, I don't want to throw a rookie out to start those 4 games and start our football team down either 1-3 or 0-4. So I could see a world where Nathan Peterman comes out right away, starts the first 4 games at least, kind of shows and uses that as an audition. And then if they're 0-4, 1-3 by then I see a world where Josh Allen comes in.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's best to put Josh Allen in right now just because he's a rookie and he hasn't really proven anything yet. There's nothing that I've seen in preseason or even in college where I've looked at least a play from him and realized, like, wow, this guy's going to be pretty good in the NFL. I think he definitely needs to sit some games behind another quarterback. But having Nathan Peterman being that quarterback, definitely not a good situation.
Yeah, I'm not very excited about watching Buffalo play this season. I think they're going to have a rough start and whole season. Moving on, Kansas City showed themselves they got a real quarterback last night. Patrick Mahomes threw what would have been the longest touchdown pass in the air in 2017 if it would have happened. It traveled 68.5 yards to Tyreek Hill. Wow, what a play.
That is absolutely insane. I had some questions about Patrick Mahomes earlier, maybe even a month ago, and I always knew he had a good arm. He actually was on an NFL Network special where him and Derek Carr, no, not Derek Carr,
It was David Carr.
David Carr, Derek Carr's older brother. They had basically a throwing competition. They each got 4 throws, and Patrick Mahomes clocked one of his throws at 62 miles an hour. That is absolutely ridiculously fast, and I always knew he had a good arm. I'm just not sure if he is completely comfortable with being an NFL quarterback, if not possibly even the face of that franchise moving forward. I do love him as a football player. I think he will be a top 10 quarterback in the next 3 to 5 years, but it will take some time.
Yeah, I think with Andy Reid and the players he has around him, Travis Kelce, a top tight end, wide receivers in Tyreek Hill, who's just a deep ball threat on any given play. You got a rookie, or not a rookie, but a rookie last year in Kareem Hunt, who was a top, I'll say on the light side, a top 10 running back in the league.
Yeah.
More like a top 6 or 7 back, and he's coming into his sophomore year. I think even though he might not be ready, he has the pieces around him and Andy Reid, plus a shaky division in the AFC West. I think he could get together some wins, maybe make a playoff push. But I'm really excited to see what he does.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I, as a Chargers fan, they're in the AFC West with us, so obviously I want him to succeed, but not too much because Chargers are winning the division.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, Browns, Baker, Tyrod. What are your thoughts on that?
Baker and Tyrod. So I just found out within the last hour that Baker is now the number 3 quarterback for Cleveland.
Yeah. It's Stanton who is their backup now, NFL veteran. I think it's kind of a move in, not so much he's the 3rd string, but if Tyrod was to go down in week 1, are you really throwing Baker out, or are you throwing out an NFL veteran that will be prepared, that will be able to check out of certain schemes because he can read a defense? I think that's just the Browns kind of covering all their bases and protecting 2 running style quarterbacks. But that's just my opinion on that. What do you have, Jack?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because as you mentioned, if Tyrod does go down week 1 as a head coach, I don't want to throw out Baker Mayfield. Obviously, the world wants to see him play, but just like almost any rookie quarterback, I think throwing them out there the first year is not a good idea. So I do realize how he's the number 3. I think it'll also motivate him. I think he will start going to practice with almost a little chip on his shoulder. As you know, he walked on to his college team twice and ended up being the starting quarterback. So I know he does have that kind of grinding mindset. I think this is going to push him a little bit harder, and I'm really excited to see him play. Hopefully not this year. I really hope he stays on the bench and kind of understands how the NFL works, because if you ask any player, they'll tell you, any rookie, it is so much faster than college. And I think he just needs to kind of get that under his belt, kind of understand the plays, defensive zones, mans, all that stuff. And hopefully by next year, he'll be the starter. But I see him doing very well in the NFL. I think he's going to have a great career.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Baker play. 2 of his receivers, we got some news. Josh Gordon, hot off the press about an hour ago, reported to camp. I think it was he took some time for mental health, and he also wanted to stay away from the cameras and Hard Knocks. Des Bryant also met with the Browns yesterday. They did not get to a deal, but Des Bryant did say that he would love to play in Cleveland. Thoughts on either one of those guys?
Yeah, so Josh Gordon actually sent out a letter via the Note app on his iPhone this morning. And
non-millennials out there, he basically wrote a handwritten letter.
Exactly. And I'm going to say that right now. Basically, this is what he said. Dear Cleveland Browns and NFL family, thank you for your love, support, and most importantly, your patience as I took the time needed to ensure my overall mental and physical health. More specifically, I'd like to thank the NFL Players Association, entire Browns organization, University of Florida, and his friend and business manager, Michael Johnson Jr., for playing such pivotal roles during this process. He then goes on to say that as he humbly returns to being a member of the Cleveland Browns, with an opportunity to get back to playing the game he loves, he realizes for himself to reach his full potential, he needs to focus and remain focused on his sobriety and mental well-being. I take this as a huge step forward for Josh Gordon. Him and Johnny Manziel were basically menaces on the Browns organization together. I think they were both really bad influences on each other and didn't take their job seriously. Now I think Gordon has come to the realization that this is a career and it's not just something that anyone can do. You can't just take it lightly and show up to practice drunk and smoke weed with Johnny Manziel and expect to be in the NFL, where just under 1,700 players are in. And now he realizes and has taken initiative. And, I really think moving forward, he's in the best physical and mental state he could possibly be in.
Now imagine Tyrod/Baker in the backfield throwing out to Des Bryant and Josh Gordon. Des Bryant met with the team on Thursday. They didn't get to a deal, but they're pretty close. What are your thoughts on him being a Brown this season? Will it happen, and will he play an NFL snap?
I think that he's going to sign with the Browns. They're eventually going to work out a deal. I know it's going to happen because Dez wants to play football, and there is no other organization that's going to offer him a deal. He already turned down something with the Ravens. We spoke about that last week. But we all know Dez is a diva, but he's a 3-time Pro Bowler, and something else, he leads the Cowboys franchise in touchdown receptions. Now, you might think, oh, well, Dez Bryant was there for a long time, and yeah, maybe he was there his whole career, but you know who else was there? A pretty damn good former receiver, Michael Irvin, a Hall of Famer. Yeah, Dez has more TD receptions than Michael Irvin. So I think he's going to sign a deal with the Browns, and that offense and the wideouts is going to be absolutely disgusting, whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Baker Mayfield throwing the TDs.